We have a date, location, and 12 fights with high-profile names for the upcoming UFC 300. As far as we can see, the feelings of the fans are divided. Some are overhyped, others are disappointed. But the event card is not that bad at all. Whether you belong to one group or another, the MMA Corner TV team has taken it upon itself to convince you that this is a quality event. So hit the subscribe button, stay until the end, and you'll definitely get hyped for UFC 300. This lightweight bout promises a banger between two old lions of MMA. Bobby King Green and Jim Miller have combined for a whopping 67 UFC appearances alone. Both are approaching their fourth decade of life, but their warrior spirit is forever present, and they still yearn for active battles. They have been through thick and thin competing against the best fighters in the world for over a decade and have never disappointed. Miller and Green have never participated in boring fights, and you will agree with us when we say that any outcome is possible. It will be interesting to see if Bobby's quick hands will crack the iron chin of Miller. On the other hand, Jim will surely test the high percentage takedown defense of Green and try to drown him with his submission expertise. With so many UFC fights under her belt, Jessica Andrade has earned her place at UFC 300. The former strawweight champion has her compatriot Marina Rodriguez as an opponent, and we firmly believe that the girls will show the heart and fire of Brazil. Both ended their losing streak with victories in 2023 when they showed themselves in the best versions. Andrade knocked out Mackenzie Dern in the second round, while Marina showed her ruthlessness when she brutally beat Michelle Waterson and left her in a pool of blood. Both picked up bonuses for their performances, and this match has great potential not to see the final bell. Believe that the girls won't disappoint, and we can't wait to see which Brazilian fighter gets the title of Queen of Violence. If you watched previous videos on our channel, then you know how much we can't wait for Diego Lopes' return. If you haven't, go watch it, and you'll understand why he deserved it. His opponent will be tough Nigerian Sodiq Yusuff, who fought Edson Barboza in his last match in the main event of the evening. Although he lost a competitive clash that was named Fight of the Night, Yusuff will get a chance to get back on the winning streak. On the other hand, Diego Lopes will once again have the opportunity to show how dangerous he is with a full camp. Judging by both, the outcome is highly questionable and could go either way. What is certain is that two hungry featherweights will bring the battle to each other and fight for their place in the top 15. The clash of two former champions could surprise everybody. Battle-tested Holly Holm will fight against Golden Olympic judoka Kayla Harrison, who signed a UFC contract in January 2024, and her debut is more than challenging. Kayla is used to going through her PFL opponents, and now she has the chance to do it against a UFC fighter. Holly has already pulled off an upset against the unstoppable Olympic judoka Ronda Rousey, and will try to do it again. Questions are being asked whether Kayla will bring her muscular body to the targeted weight and whether she will show her skills after low competition throughout her career. Unlike her, Holm is well warmed up in the elite competition, and if everything goes well, there is a high chance that the girls could join the club of great women's fights. You know the show is on when two former champions are tasked with opening the event. A fiery match between two little aggressive guys will be a great way to warm up the audience at the start. Deiveson Figueiredo had a hell of a UFC flyweight run, where he fought in 7 title fights. He has now moved up a division above and put in a great performance in his bantamweight debut against Rob Font, and knowing Deiveson has his eyes on the title. His opponent is a former bantamweight champion and a man with whom you never know what kind of performance he will give on match night. It was hard to be a fan of Cody Garbrandt, who, after a lot of falls, finally won 2 in a row and started knocking out his opponents like he used to. After expressing that he wanted Figueiredo as an opponent, his wish was granted, and he would get it at the big event. In just 5 perfect matches, Bo Nickal proved to be a superstar material who deserved his place at UFC 300. The UFC has invested a lot in his promotion, and they may serve him another can to beat. Although people are putting a big question mark on this matchup, his opponent Cody Brundage is more than confident that he will be able to win. He tends to finish the match in various ways, and in 15 fights he went to decision only 3 times. Bo also presented himself as a master of finishes for whom decision is not an option, and he prefers to get the job done in the first rounds. This will be a great stepping stone for him, as Cody is not someone to be overlooked. He also comes from a wrestling background, and it will be interesting to see how he competes with Bo's wrestling. Who knows? Maybe this event will bring another upset, and we might see another hype train derailed. After losing to Sean O'Malley, Aljamain Sterling decided to seek his luck in the featherweight category. In his debut, he will be welcomed by the always violent and durable Calvin Kattar. These two MMA warriors have not had an easy fight since 2018, and if you look at their scores, you'll be amazed by the names they share the cage with. The tendency of both of them to fight until the last bell promises us a hell of a dance. The only question is who will better imply their game plan, and the only thing that can spoil this match is Sterling's tendency to hug his opponent to death, even though Kattar is not known for being handled on the ground easily. Aljamain is looking forward to a fresh start, and Kattar is here to ruin his debut and get out of a two-fight losing streak. UFC 300 brings us a classic striker versus grappler matchup, and their varied skills can bring the finish in all fields of the game, so make sure you don't blink. We can't remember the last time Jiří Prochazka or Alexander Rakic had bad performances. Although both are coming from one defeat, that is reason enough for them to work even harder and return to the winning column with a banger. Rakic has not competed since the leg injury defeat against Blachowicz in 2022, and we know how hungry he was then. You can only imagine what he has in store for UFC 300 after so much time away from the ring. The title is still his mission, but first he has to go through the knockout master Jiří, who is no stranger to shutting the lights out of elite fighters. So don't be surprised if a sudden knockout explodes, it's just a question of who will send the finishing missile. We bring you a clash between two humble men whose combativeness and desire to win are unquestionable. Serbian Rocket versus Czech Samurai is a promising fight. Charles Oliveira is finally back in the hunt after injury in what could be a title fight eliminator. After having one of the legendary title's reigns in the lightweight division, where he won our hearts with his unrelenting determination, he now has the opportunity to secure a revenge title fight. It's no secret that many want to see him against Makhachev, but also as a champion. The only problem is that opposite him will be young Arman Tsarukyan, who is more than willing to rematch the Dagestani champion, especially because he is one of the fighters who gave him the greatest resistance years ago. Look at us, the winner has not even been announced yet, and we are already looking ahead. Anyways, Charles will enter this match as an underdog, and we know that is when he's the most dangerous. Arman Tsarukyan is on a short but quality winning streak, and fans see him as championship material. He has high chances, but Do Bronx has shown countless times that he is not to be written off. Definitely the fight that needs the least hype is the lightweight bout between Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. The BMF title is on the line, and even without it, this matchup is fire because we know what kind of fights Blessed and The Highlight bring. Both are on a two-fight winning streak against elite competition, where they participated in the Fight of the Nights and secured one knockout each. Guys who deserve only words of praise and respect will bring fireworks with their striking, just like every time before. The last time Max fought at lightweight was with Justin Poirier for the interim title in a 5-round war where he was hurt multiple times, but not finished. He received a beating, he gave some, but unfortunately he lost by decision. Dustin Poirier, who fought both of them twice, says he puts his money on Max. Will Gaethje finally hand Max the first knockout loss of his career, or will Holloway's volume be too much for Justin? If some bad luck strikes on April 13th and the whole night gets spoiled, we can always count on these two to put on a spectacular show. The first of the two title fights will be brought to us by two female Chinese compatriots. Current champion and strawweight powerhouse Zhang Weili will defend her title against Yan Xiaoyang, an impressive fighter who has been causing disturbances in the female division. She is someone who should not be underestimated because she will knock you out or keep beating you until the decision. But we must not forget that Zhang is the champion for a reason. Best of all, the fight can go either way, and that uncertainty only adds charm to an already interesting matchup. For the first time, two Chinese women fighters are meeting in a title fight and at a big UFC event where they have the chance to sweep us off our feet. This matchup is of particular importance to the Asian audience, as there is no doubt that the entire Chinese nation will be in front of the screens. But they have no reason to worry, as the belt is definitely coming to China. The second title fight will feature two of the most dangerous strikers in the light heavyweight division. Alex Pereira is a fighter who won belts in 2 categories in the shortest possible time. His rivalry against Adesanya, stone-face, and indestructible mentality quickly spread his fanbase outside of Brazil, and now he has the opportunity to defend his title for the first time. Although the exchange of championships in light heavyweight was frequent and interesting, the return of his opponent and the real champion, Jamahal Hill, is long awaited. Sweet Dreams relinquished his title due to an injury because he didn't want to hold up the division. Poatan, meanwhile, knocked out Jiri Prochazka and took his throne. But now, Hill is back and here to show who is the real champion. With a combined record of 21 wins and only 3 losses, neither is used to losing. Together, they've put 14 opponents to sleep, which means we'll get a chance to see whose hands do a better job in the cage. Thank you for staying until the end. And now, while you're here, we are interested in your opinion about the event and the fights on its card. UFC has provided amazing shows for us so far, so it's time to support them for their 300th event. April 13th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Let's believe in a high-quality fighting experience.